Hi, this is Forrest for Faulty Lid. Today, we're going to discuss a topic I've seen talked about quite a bit recently. Is Symmetra overpowered? I'm going to start this off by saying no, I don't think Symmetra is overpowered, if you're playing in a 6-stack. When you're playing with a group, you can organize yourself to avoid Symmetra turrets and destroy shield generators. Now, most of Overwatch's community doesn't play in 6-stacks. Most people play competitive games in solo, duo, or trio queues. This changes things a little bit for me. Symmetra is a lot like Mei. She can do a lot to hurt a disorganized team. When you're playing in small queues, it can be difficult to organize a team to root out a Symmetra. Now, because most people play in small queues, I think this leads to the opinion that Symmetra has been overpowered since her update. Honestly, I'm not sure I entirely disagree with that idea. I've had some ridiculous games because of her new skills. One of my first games playing against the new Symmetra was on Dorado. My team was on offense and we were running a triple tank setup with Soldier 76. On our first push, we brought the payload into the choke point. They then shut my team down with a well-placed biotic grenade that got half of us. On our second push, they had already built their shield generator. This is where things got toxic. My team tried to brute force our way in. We tried to push behind Reinhardt's shield, even though the choke point was littered with Symmetra turrets. The team in front of us had an almost identical comp, except each of them now had 75 more health than us. So you can probably imagine that this was a terrible idea. I learned very quickly that brute forcing your way through a Symmetra shielded team is just not an option. Not without some serious ultimate combos. My team spent the next couple of minutes with more failed attempts and we never pushed past the choke point. Now on defense, we decided that there was only one way we had a shot. Use our own Symmetra. The first push was a little iffy, but we held and we got our shield generator up. From there, we held them the entire 4 minutes in the choke point, a half meter in front of where we got on offense. My team won the match, and neither team really did anything. That match was a win, but that match wasn't fun. I've had more experiences like that, especially on Dorado, so you probably would expect me to think that Symmetra is overpowered. Well, I still don't, and here's why. The reason my team had no answer for Symmetra is because we played right into her hands. We ran a slow-moving tank setup with 0 flankers. Now, I didn't realize then how borderline impossible it was going to be to break through that choke point when they had shields. What I should have done was switch to Pharah or Tracer and immediately hunt down the shield generator. Symmetra is powerful, and a big reason for that is she creates this metagame of finding her shield gen. She forces teams to take time and resources to destroy her nest. Either that or they face an overly oppressive defense. Neither choice is great. 75 shields is a lot, and don't even get me started on her ridiculous 10-meter beam disengage distance. Yet still, I don't think Symmetra is overpowered. What I think is happening right now is Mei 2.0. In Season 2, people were really discovering the potential of Mei's wall and what that could do to split up teams and choke points. Between the wall and her newly buffed, fast-charging Blizzard ultimate, Mei 2 felt overpowered. Since then, I really have not experienced Mei's shutting my teams down, not like they used to. She might get the occasional tank or two walled off on a map like Hanamura, but for the most part, players have adjusted to her game. We're better at avoiding walls, baiting out walls, and attacking when we know her wall is on cooldown. I think the same type of adjustment period is happening with Symmetra. I see a lot of my teams still just want to brute force our way through the shields. It can't be that. The first lesson I've learned about new Symmetra is that her shields are a cancer that need to be removed as soon as possible. More people are going to realize that the shields have to go, if most haven't already. The adjustment period to Symmetra will happen, and Symmetra defenses will feel a lot less ridiculous than some of the crazy experiences people have had already. I also think Symmetra will be less effective once the tank meta is dead. Part of the problem my team had is that we were running triple tank with Soldier 76. That is a very common composition. Most teams that I queue into want to run that lineup. And that lineup sucks against Symmetra. The only thing that could possibly flank around and destroy her generator is D.Va. And it's not like D.Va is this stealthy hero that can sneak into a team's backline and destroy the shields. We pretty much had no answer for Symmetra, and that's a big problem. Now once this tank meta goes away, which should hopefully happen when the PTR patch goes live, teams will be able to get flankers into lineups a lot easier. There will be better options of getting to and dealing with Symmetra's shield generator. This will tone down its effects. Slamming tanks into a team that's shielded feels bad, and probably would give anyone the sense that Symmetra is overpowered. The tank meta should end soon, and with it, Symmetra should feel much more reasonable. Lastly, Sombra is coming. Eventually. I don't think Blizzard will keep her this underused and this underpowered forever. Sooner than later, they will buff her to the necessary strength she needs to be viable. With Sombra, we will have a great Symmetra counter. Sombra's EMP destroys all shield health and will destroy Symmetra's shield generator if it's in range. This will give us a great answer to counter teams that are using a Symmetra to create an impenetrable defense. We will have an alternative option to countering her other than playing along with her game of hide and seek the shield gen. I want to wait and see how strong Symmetra feels in an Overwatch meta where Sombra is actually relevant. Symmetra just became meta recently. Let's not overreact and call for nerfs to gut her kit immediately. Let's take a step back and allow the community to adjust to her. Once the tank meta is dead and we get Sombra into more lineups, Symmetra will be a lot less oppressive. Ultimately, Symmetra is a hero that punishes your lack of team coordination. She preys on teams that use limited resources to destroy her generator, push through turret-filled chokes poorly, and don't focus her when team fights become brawls. Right now, we may have some ridiculous games with her, but I think this is temporary. Players in the meta will adjust, so just hang tight if tech support has been driving you crazy. I don't think Symmetra is overpowered. Do you agree? Disagree? I want to hear about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell button next to subscribe to receive a notification whenever this page posts a video. Follow us on Twitter @FaultyLidGaming. This has been Forrest with Faulty Lid, and I'll see you next time.